Welcome to another episode of the Apex Podcast, and today we have a special guest from Quezon City. Please introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, my name is Lay. Most of the people know me as Kuya Lay. Yeah, so I am a website and graphic designer. That's a freelancer for 7 years now. Freelance and a virtual assistant as well. And I'm actually a computer science graduate, so it's really interesting to be in this part of industry.
Thank you, Kuya Lay. So, alam natin lahat na sa TikTok, at tawag sa iyo, Kuya Lay.
Yeah.
Siguro, before we get into a deep dive about your professional career, sino ba si Kuya Lay outside the professional world?
Yeah. So, Kuya Lay is actually a volunteer sa church. Yeah, I spend most of my time volunteering sa church that is called CCF. Some of the people might be familiar with it, but yeah, I do most of the time. Guess what? It's multimedia design. I volunteer there as a multimedia designer, and I also manage some young professionals on my church as well. So we do stuff na mag-usap kami about our career and how are we supposed to move forward if there's a burnout, something like that. So yeah, and I also do travel as well. I have a motorcycle, which is good kasi I just recently bought it. Tapos, some of my friends are really interested in going somewhere. So, yeah.
Where was your last travel?
Last travel, that's Dingalan. Yeah.
Nagmotor lang kayo?
Yeah, motor. That's actually 4 hours drive lang siya. But
Okay.
yun nga, if you have friends when you have to go somewhere else, yeah, sometimes 4 hours became 6 hours, 7 hours, something like that. But yeah, it's fun going there. It's really fun.
So, if you don't mind me asking, anong klaseng motor siya?
That's ADV.
Wow!
That's ADV. But 150 lang. We're not going to 160 yet, but yeah, we're going there.
Okay, ang ADV it goes
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Ang hindi lang siya kumbaga, bawal lang siya sa express.
Bawal siya sa expressway. But that's the fun thing about it kasi nakakalibot
Yes.
ka.
Which is
anywhere.
nice.
Yeah.
So, ilang kayo sa grupo?
Oh, that depends. Minsan may sinasama kami ng mga friend namin na hindi pa namin na-reach out before. So, basically, 10 kami na nagmamotor. Those are my high school friends. But if we have more people to come, talagang ini-invite din namin sila. And yeah, that's the time na siguro nag-increase kami up to 20 person. That depends. Even in our church, may mga kasama rin ako, different group na nagkakaroon kami ng mga rides as well.
So, very active ka pala sa church. And,
Yeah.
And it just started all when?
It started on 2011, I guess. Yeah, that's 2011. That's my high school days. And apparently, I've been invited with my friends there. Tapos, yun nga, nakakatuwa kasi we have different thoughts before sa church, but then na-realize ko that it's really fun to hang around with some people.
And that's very nice. Paano mag-sign up sa grupo niyo naman?
Yeah.
So, we'll sign up na lang.
Kailangan nyo pong magpunta sa mga link to. Joke.
Kailangan man naka-ADV pa din.
Depende. Basta nakaputi. Joke.
Alam mo na, Liam, dapat puti
Kailangan
dapat.
puti. And then-
Problema na, mga motor namin, black.
Mga black.
Bawal pala, puti. Na lang, anong tawag doon? Rap na lang. Well, that's nice and fun. It's nice to see like a fellow freelancer.
Yes.
And actually, Kuya Lay is someone who creates content on TikTok, advising VAs and teaching VAs, educating them on how the freelancing world works. And kailan ka ba nag-start in terms of providing these types of lessons or experience towards VAs, ha? Yeah.
So, I recently taught them, siguro last year na ako nag-start, but I'm not really consistent in sharing yung knowledge. But I really wanted to tell them na VA is not something you can start na without knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah. So, ang dami kasing nagtatanong sa amin na paano mag-start ng VA. Gusto ko pero I don't know how to. Ganon. So I try to teach most of them to really engage na, okay, this is what we're gonna do. It's like corporate, but we're gonna have some client outside Philippines. So, ayun. I just wanted to tell them kung ano yung mga step-by-step guide on how to start to become a VA last year.
And this is quite good because apparently from all the videos that you created, ang dami mo ng followers.
Yeah.
So by far, ilan na?
As of today, that's 21,000.
Wow!
Yeah.
Ang hirap kumuha ng ganun attention, because ibig sabihin, the content that you're creating is very valuable, especially to VAs, because a lot of VAs don't know where to start, and apparently the content that you provide is like I said, valuable, and we wish more men like you would give those types of information for free. And we all know that most VAs are females.
Yeah, exactly.
Karamihan sa kanila mothers. And it's, to my surprise, all along I thought Kuya Lei was a VA, but apparently he's not a VA by profession. He's a designer, more specifically web designer.
Web design, yeah.
Yes, but because I believe the online type of work and the freelance or the remote work is similar to what VAs do, and I think the principles are the same, because once you find a client, let's say from the US or the UK or Australia, it's basically the same principles. So currently right now, Kuya Lei, ano yung mga clientele mo? Are they local or global?
They are global right now. I have a client sa Denmark, and another client is from US. And another one, yeah, I guess that's US again.
Mostly
that's
US.
Mostly US, but not all the time nasa US sila. Some of them are local din. Meron din ako from local. Yeah, I do stuff din sa designing sa kanila.
Oh, that's very nice. And since a lot of VAs follow you, do you have any trainings, or do you provide trainings, or maybe consultation to VAs who want to start?
Yeah. So I actually created a mini course on TikTok.
Oh.
Yeah, that's only like $1 for some people.
Oh, affordable,
Yeah, very affordable because I really wanted to teach a lot of aspiring Filipinos to become a virtual assistant. That mini course is just a start on like how to become a virtual assistant. You know, siguro I'm teaching them on what niche they wanted to start on. Tapos, kung paano i-prepare yung resume, how to prepare yung sa mga interviews, stuff like that. Kasi, people are now asking kung yung pag-start ba would be different from corporate. Ayun. So, I'm just teaching them na it's also similar, but you have to have something to offer. You know, give them value first. Kasi hindi pwedeng shotgun approach lang na if I apply, automatically tatanggapin ka nila. Na I wanted to give them advice na you have to pick something first to be able to be picked. Ayun.
That's a really good advice. And I think to our fellow VAs, I think $1, or sabihin natin exchange rate na ngayon 55.
55,
right?
yeah.
Sobrang mura na yun. Ang dami kong kilala kasi na VA na kuripot.
Yeah.
10 pesos nga, ayaw gumastos para kumuha ng blueprint. Sa'yo,
Yeah, that's
binibigay mo na yung
$1.
blueprint, right?
Yeah, there's a blueprint na nandun na rin sa course.
When did you start, or when did you decide that, let me start a TikTok account and give advice to VAs? What made you start this?
Well, during pandemic, a lot of people are coming to me that, hey, I know you're working from home, but they don't know what I do. So, that's the time siguro na I tried to explain to them. But most of them are just like asking for me na, how to do VA. Then when I try to explain it in a very simple way, they wouldn't get it right away.
I see.
Yeah, so I know na hindi siya ganun kaagad makukuha kasi nga it's a long process to understand what's going on sa online world. kasi it's very different here sa corporate nga. And trying to explain to several people na paulit-ulit, I decided na, hey, let's try to create a TikTok account wherein I try to explain what do VAs do. So, it just started out last year, and I think marami na rin naging interested dahil nga sa pandemic. So, from there, I try to reach out to more people using that channel.
I like the way you brainstorm all this because naisip mo, there's so many people asking me questions. Hindi na efficient.
Yeah.
Wala ka ng time sumagot sa lahat. So you created a video and that's where it started.
Yeah,
No?
yeah.
So up to this date, how many videos do you have on your TikTok account?
Oh, I couldn't count it. But I guess that would be like 40 or 50 videos.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. And I saw some of your videos, lots of views,
Yeah.
lots of views. And it's great that we have, I would say, consultants like you
Yeah.
giving them advice. And what's next after your mini course?
I would love to eventually, moving forward, to create maybe a training ground for the aspiring Filipino virtual assistants. I would love to create a training for them, like maybe an agency
Oh, nice.
that would really help them to train what's going on, and hopefully that I can connect with a lot of people like me as well that loves to teach other people how to become a virtual assistant.
You did mention that your core profession, or I would probably consider it a passion when it comes to design and maybe web development. I know there are a couple of VAs na ang hilig din nila mag-design. And what do you think VAs have the chance to learn web development, UI, UX, or anything that's around that area?
I believe so. There's nothing impossible naman not to learn kasi nga sa ngayon informations are everywhere. Baga madali na siyang makuha just to reach research lang, even YouTube you can know how to do lead generation, for example.
Yeah.
Just search how to do lead gen. That's it.
Yes.
And many videos from YouTube will pop up and say, here's the guide on how to do such things, blah blah blah. And siguro the one thing that they needed to have is the drive to really learn what skills do they wanted to have first, or they have the time to do it as well. Because I guess if you have that kind of combination and the discipline as well, that could create like a snowball effect to you. Kasi even I don't know how to do graphic design before. I am a self-taught graphic designer. I'm not a graduate of any what do you call this, art school, but apparently I have the passion to do it. So I just learn it through YouTube and some Instagram videos, stuff like that. And yeah, I've learned it way back ago. So I guess hindi naman imposible na gawin din nila ngayon kasi there are more people doing it, teaching you for free how to do it.
Is it important to have, I know you did mention that we have an abundance of information on the internet, people creating videos just like yourself, but isn't it important to have some sort of mentorship? Because oo nga, madami tayong information, pero saan tayo mag-isisimula? Ano ba yung tama?
Yeah.
Diba? Pero kasi yung mga nagtuturo, they teach differently.
Yeah.
And there's another side that teach another way. So, what's your advice in terms of how to start sa mga baguhan? Should they find a mentor? Or should they buy a course? Or should they sign into a program?
For me, that's a good part na meron kang mentor. Because having a mentor is like skipping all the, what do you call this? Like the intro sa game. Like tinuturuan ka nila from experience. It's good to have a course, don't get me wrong, but having a mentor is a different level. Na they are teaching from experience. They know what they are doing because they failed first. That's the first thing na natutunan ko. I actually had a mentor before sa sa programming before.
Mhm.
So, marami akong natutunan sa kanya, and talagang iba rin yung advice na binibigay nila kasi they would skip everything and then right into the point na, okay, wag mo nang daanan to, ito na kagad. So, nagkakaroon ka ng build-up na, okay, I can learn these things on an easier level and at the same time achieve my goals in a short period of time.
And I think the guide
Mhm.
of a mentor is important because the moment they make a mistake,
Yeah.
that's the time where the mentor comes in and tells them, it's okay. Let's try another way. You can try this. They could advise. Would you be open to mentorship?
Yeah, soon I would love to mentor someone, lalo na sa field ko, because not okay. So I tried to mentor before
Okay.
with my friends, but apparently some of them are just like, excited because I'm earning this much. I'm really excited for the to mentor someone that is really passionate about the things that I wanted to teach, because I believe, I prefer passionate one over talented ones, because those passionate people, they would push themselves to the limits just to learn something. And I am so open to teach those people because mahirap magturo sa mga taong ayaw naman matuto. Okay, so I am really passionate naman into teaching. That's why I'm trying to figure out kung sino yung mga gustong matuto talaga. Like, like if you're going to my TikTok account, that's a step na ginawa mo na I wanted to learn
Yeah.
to become a VA someday. So I'm expecting na someday they would become a virtual assistant as well. Just having those little steps. Ayun.
It's really good practical advice because you're right. Ang dami sa mga not only VAs, sa freelancers or people that want to do freelance and remote work expecting na okay, I want to do websites kasi malaki bayad.
Yeah, yeah.
But if that's something that you don't enjoy, I don't think you'll be able to earn that.
Exactly.
And the only reason I believe that you're earning more than what you expected you were earning, right, is because you love what you did.
Yes.
Or you love what you're doing, right? And that's the problem with a lot of VAs these days. Lalo yung mga, sorry to say, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate from
Yeah,
this, a lot of
yeah.
haters because ang daming taga BPO,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Sabi, ang hirap na, di ba? Mag-VA nga ako, sa bahay lang ako. But once once they do that transition, pag nag-start na sila, bigla silang umayaw.
Yeah.
Sabi, hindi naman malaki bahay dito, tapos ang hirap mag-setup, kailangan mo sarili mong gamit. Diba? So, I think that's really important what you said, that they need to have that passion, and rather than just going at it just because of the salary. Eh di sana nag-doktor na lang sila.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah? O naging rocket scientist, edi malaki yung sahod nila. What would your advice for to our community of VAs, the ones who are passionate about web design and web development? Where do you think they should start?
If you wanted to become a web developer or a web designer soon, the first thing that you needed to know is you need to understand how web development works. You have the knowledge first on what to do, and then from there, learn specific things like, do you want it to develop something or do you want to just to design something? Because in the website designing and development, there's a lot of things going on. There's web front-end developers, there's a back-end developers, there's a full-stack developers, and there's just designers. There's a lot going on the web world, but you have to pick on your specialization first. You have to understand that I must be a master of my craft first to be able to provide something else to my company or agency, stuff like that. And if you decide whether you go as a logical developer or a creative designer, then that's the time you try to have a course to start with, because having a course would be just like a book. It's a guide for you on what to do. It's a step-by-step guide to really reach that goal in your mind, and then maybe find a mentor. Yeah, find a mentor that would actually help you into building, because there's a lot of errors. Okay, expect a lot of errors in development, in designing. So having a mentor would really benefit you a lot, because they would explain to you why this is not working and why this is working. Yeah.
So Kuya Lei is open for mentorship. Just make sure you're passionate enough
Yeah.
and not on it just for the
The money.
salary or the money.
Yeah.
So he's open to mentorship. And so let me go back to the part of web development. If they would, let's say, if I wanted to start, can you give me a starting point? What to learn? Any resource?
Any
Where to go?
Okay. In terms of web development, there's right now in the market, there's two different developers. There's the builders and the from scratch developers. So if you wanted to get an easier job, like for me, if I am somewhere, like I have a previous job before na hindi related doon sa course ko, or tapos I am trying to go now sa web development, I would choose siguro muna sa web building, because web building is actually a pretty good standard on how to understand better yung website. Sa website building, it might be easy na drag and drop siya, but eventually you will learn slowly that there will be time na magko-code ka. That's HTML, that's CSS. Those are the two things na very basic na matutunan.
The fundamentals
The
of
fundamentals,
web.
yeah. That's the what do you call this? The flesh and the bone of the the website. And if you wanted to go hardcore, maybe try to learn eventually JavaScript. Yeah, that's very beneficial for a lot of people, and try to learn as much as you can on WordPress. I guess that's a good starting point, because for me, there's a lot of people that I teach before na they wanted to do website designing then and website building, and I told them that hindi mo kailangan mag-code right away. You just need to understand what's going on, and yeah, I tried to teach them yung WordPress, and then eventually how to build stuff in there.
Very, very valuable information. So, to the VAs that want to pursue the career in building websites, or maybe creatively designing websites, I think that's Kuya Lei gave us a foundation, HTML, CSS. I think those are the two important fundamentals that you need to know as becoming a VA who specialize in web development. And I totally agree. WordPress.
Yeah.
I think the most fastest deployment that you could do.
Yeah.
I believe more than 50% of the websites that you visit is built on WordPress.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I don't think programming, alam ko kasi ang daming takot sa programming.
Yeah.
Right? They read the codes and they're like, oh no, this is not working.
No.
But I think in HTML and CSS, the programming it's so basic and simple that you could actually read them. They're English, right?
Exactly.
Especially in CSS. So I think for our audience, HTML is let's call it the skeleton.
The skeleton, yeah.
Right? The CSS is the skin,
The
and the
skin,
looks and the
right.
colors and all that.
Yeah.
So is this, I think we're opening a mentorship program for Kuya Lei as we speak.
Maybe soon.
Yeah, maybe soon.
I'll be going there soon, yeah.
Yeah, maybe because here in Apex, we do have plans in coming up with an academy,
Ooh,
and
okay.
of course, we'd like to invite mentors like you,
Oh,
to join us, and maybe you could help our fellow VA community,
yeah.
learn a few things and
Mhm.
probably direct them to their career.
Mhm.
Now, in terms of we all know virtual assistance is always remote work.
Mhm.
Outside the career, what are your advice over, let's say, VAs that work so hard,
Mhm.
they don't have enough time for them? How do you juggle between, just like you, how do you
Mhm.
juggle between traveling,
Yeah.
church,
Uh-huh.
freelance life?
Mhm.
What's your process?
Okay, this year is actually a breakthrough for me. This is something that I really wanted to have. It's the work-life balance because I experienced that before. I had three clients. All of them are just like, "Hey, I need some revisions. When will be the deployment? Can I have this kind of revision?" That there's a lot of going on, and the reason why I started to become a virtual assistant is to have more time to myself. I just wanted to like live, that you just try to live at the moment. And this year I'm really intentional on having those kind of balance in my life. And right now scheduling really helps a lot because there will be day that I grind so hard, and there will be days that I rest so hard. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of things that I needed to do in a day. Like I have to go to gym, I have to do my course, I have to do my job as well. And those are the things that I'm trying to manage before, and I miserably messed up because a lot of times ang nangyayari is I just focus on my job, and eventually my health is declining. I suffered a lot mentally and physically. Yeah, so it's a big decision to make that I needed to be firm about myself first, because kung ikaw mismo wala na, pag-aubos ka na, ano pa may bibigay mo sa iba?
Tama.
Yeah, so I tried to balance it out when I enrolled gym.
Oh.
I enrolled recently, and having a coach as well. So I guess that accountability really helps. That I may go out more than 2 hours a day at my house, and having those what do you call this, calendar really sets me up na, okay, I need to work like 8 a.m. to 12 noon. That's the only time that I work for this project. Then I moved on. I needed to rest. I needed to take a nap. I needed to take somewhere else. Kapag bored na ako, maybe I needed to have a different environment. So I go to cafes, maybe go out with my friends while I'm working. So that's the good thing about being a virtual assistant. You go anywhere
You're flexible.
along with your work, and you'll be just free wherever you go. But siguro yung kalaban nun would be yung internet. But yeah, it's something na I really wanted to be free of. Yung time talaga.
So now I know the reason why you bought a motorcycle.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think to me, when it comes to, let me ask you this question.
Mm.
I know we've been through all this. How did you deal with your burnout?
Oh, okay. That's an interesting question. Burnout. Before I was trying to explain it to myself na, ano yan, you have to work harder. Okay, work harder and that's okay. Apparently, that's not. Because when you go to stages and nandun ka na sa burnout, you cannot function. That's the thing na naintindihan ko sa katawan ko na I needed some rest. And when I needed rest, that means I need to like really rest, no? Iwan mo yung lahat, bitawan mo kung ano yung mga kailangan. Kasi the moment that you have rest, that's the time na nagre-recharge ka. Like, for example, I am a creative person. So having going out, siguro, it really recharges me up and nagkakaroon ka ulit ng mga creative juice. And syempre, yung burnout na yun, it's a sign na we are not meant to work forever.
Yes.
Yeah, we needed, nandito tayo sa mundong to really enjoy what's happening. And yung burnout might be a sign for us to really think about it. Do we enjoy this moment? Ayun. So, if you're burned out, really try to rest. It's okay to rest. It's not wrong. And I know the feeling na minsan nakaka-guilty because feeling natin, kailangan may natatapos tayo. But rest is productive too. Remember that.
It's so simple, the answers. And a lot of our friends that works remote, even our VA community, they don't know what to do when they experience burnout. And tama yung sinabi mo, they think resting doesn't earn them any income, so they don't tend to rest. Even the VAs with families, or even just the hardworking ones. Do you have family?
Yeah.
Are you?
No, what I mean, I'm not married yet.
Okay.
Okay.
And if you don't mind me asking, how old are you, Kuya Lei?
I'm 27.
Kuya Lei is 27, but now he is at a position where he's mentoring.
Yeah.
And he's such a young guy that I think a lot of our VAs in our community should learn from him because he knows better in terms of how, especially the work-life balance. And plus, when you are a developer, I think your quality assurance and things, the way you build, is up there. You have high standards, and that's important for anyone with a professional career. Whether you're a doctor, you're a web developer, I think they all go hand in hand, especially with work-life balance. So, I think next I'm going to ask you, Kuya Lei, is what would be your top 3 advice for people who want to shift to the online world or to VAs who are just newbies?
Okay. First is really make sure if becoming a virtual assistant is for you. Because a lot of people are going into VA world without having enough knowledge into this. And they would quit their jobs, they would quit anything for the sake na, hey, si Kuya Lei, he's earning 6 digits already and he's a VA. I might have a shot on this. I know you have, but having a knowledge is essential.
Yeah.
And don't quit right away just because you think that it's a greener pasture on the other side. No, it doesn't work that way. Try to build an emergency fund first. There's a setup that you needed to have first, like that's the first thing, emergency funds. And then buy a computer or laptop. That's essential because most of the people are asking me, is it okay to use your phone? No. You can't do that. Try to have your setup mini office in your home. And also you have to know if you're excuse me, you have to know if you are a home person, that, because meron akong mga friend kasi before that they tried to become a virtual assistant and then they realized they don't want to be at their home. Like, the irony is, being a virtual assistant, most of the time you will be at your home and it will cause some burnout to some people. So really know if being a virtual assistant is for you. That's the first thing that I really wanted to tell a lot of people. Second is try to find a niche. Some people might say na it's okay to generalize. Yeah, that's good. That's okay because hindi mo naman talaga siya makukuha at the first try. Kumbaga, you have to really try everything. And that's what I did before. But what I'm saying is trying to focus on one specific skill would really increase your value to the market. Like for example, yung mga doktor. Sino bang mas mahal yung binabayaran? Yung general doctor or yung mga surgeon? Diba? There's a lot of specialty pagdating sa doktor. But alam mo na automatic na, ay, kailangan ko magpatingin sa mata. It would cost me because they specialize in something. That's also part of becoming a virtual assistant. There's a general VA and there is someone naman na VA pero they specialize in something. Like me na more on web development and design. So it really gives you the value sa market na, hey, I know a guy na nagwe-web development and I can refer it to you. So that's the flow to you na nagkakaroon ka ng client and yeah, you give value to your client as well. Pangatlo naman is learn how to communicate well. Okay, it's not wrong na hindi tayo ganun kagaling sa English, you know. Kasi most of the VA now are really afraid na ay ayoko mag-VA kasi puro English yan. Yan. Yan yung mga una kong naririnig. But ako rin, hindi rin ako ganun kagaling nung nag-umpisa ako. But try to improve on how to communicate because most of the time clients are not going to the talented ones. They are going to the people who they can communicate. You know, and yung mga client na yun, they're not really perfect naman. No, unless kung mga cold calling kayo, yan. Kailangan talaga yan. But if you're going into a different path as a virtual assistant, having a good communication really gives you value talaga. And na-prove ko yon nung nagkaroon ako ng client before na sinabi niya sa akin na for the last two, kami na lang yung dalawa. And yung isang guy is way cheaper, way experienced than me. But apparently, pinili niya ako. Kasi daw, they are very comfortable with me. They were able to laugh kapag nag-uusap kami. And that is something na valuable sa client. Kasi lalo na kapag online kayo, you do not meet face-to-face. So communication is the key talaga pagdating sa virtual assistant.
3 great advice and wisdom from Kuya Lay. Kuya Lay, thank you for making the time to our podcast. I know you're such a busy guy. You've been doing a lot of things lately.
Thank you.
But I appreciate your wisdom. Where can we follow you? And is there a venue where you'd like to show us where we could find your mentorship programs?
Okay, so right now you can just go to Kuya Lay VA at my TikTok. Most of the time I post there and I reply to everyone as much as I can. Pero soon I'll be focusing on Facebook. So you can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram. That's Kuya Lay again, VA. I'll create someday that mentorship program. I am just preparing some things on my courses right now. So try nyo abangan. I'll be in touch on that one.
Thank you, Kuya Lay. And upon closing this podcast, this is something new that we're going to try, starting with you, Kuya Lay. So we've decided that every closing of our podcast, we're going to ask you some random question about, doesn't necessarily have to be about the VA world. It could be any random question.
Okay.
And then eventually, at the end of this podcast, we'll give you the opportunity to ask the question to our next podcast guest. So since this is just a start, I believe I'm going to be asking the question.
Okay.
So the question goes, do you think that the online work and the remote work and the VA community will be replaced by AI?
Ooh, that's a really, really good question. But I don't think so na mapapalitan siya eventually because I believe AI supposedly they are meant to help us to boost our productivity, not against us. It's not against us. Don't worry. I tried it before, and as per my design clients, they don't really know how much, designing really works. And I tried to like give it a I tried na kumuha ng command from a client, then put it into like Chat GPT or AI, something like that. And they don't really deliver as much as we can. So I guess AI is not against us; it's for us.
I love your answer, Kuya Lei. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for your insights. Very, very valuable information that we have. So don't worry, guys. We're not going to be replaced.
Yeah, we're not gonna be replaced.
Okay. So thank you for that great answer, Kuya Lei. So this time around, we'll give you the opportunity to ask any random question you would like to ask for our next podcast guest.
Oh, any random question. I would like to ask you, what's the best time to exercise? Yeah, that's my question to you.
So stand by to our next podcast guest.
Yeah.
Eventually, we're gonna get that answer and tune in to Kuya Lei's podcast and follow him on all his socials. We'll make sure we include all his information in his own dedicated podcast page, and tune in to his future mentorship.
Yeah.
Kuya Lei, thank you very much.
Thank
We
you so
appreciate
much.
the time and your insights and your valuable information. We'd love to hear more about you. Maybe we'll have a second round of
Wow,
podcasts in the
maybe,
future.
maybe.
And
Yeah.
maybe we could have we're looking forward to your mentoring,
Oh, thank
and
you
we'd
so
love
much.
to be part of that.
Yeah, thanks so much for inviting me. Really, really, it's a great time for me to really talk about it.
We
A lot of
appreciate you so much. Thank you, Kuya Lei.
Thank you so much.
Okay.